expecting you. The love boat, so we'll be making another run. It's
Well, hi everyone. Greetings to our Princess Loyalists and obviously our valued travel advisors. It's Carmen Roy, VP of Sales. So happy to be here with you all. Lots to cover. Oh my God, I'm going to go really quick. But as always, when I start, I got to tell you, you see, I don't have Marsha with me today because originally this webinar would have been last Thursday. If anybody's keeping track of our Connect with Princess cadence, it's every 2 weeks. First webinar of the month is for our travel advisors, and then we open up the second one. But last week we had Cruise 360. That is CLIA's big conference, and it was in Fort Lauderdale, actually around the corner from the Princess headquarters in Fort Lauderdale. It was really exciting. And more importantly, we got to see so many of our travel advisors and partners. Our president, John Paget, was on a president's panel, which was super exciting. And then I was on this thing called a hot seat. You're lucky you weren't there. It was really interesting. It was really, hello, Bill from sunny Fort Lauderdale. I know. And the Island Princess is in port today. I know that. Tammy, how are you from Montreal? And yes, I know I'm looking forward to going on Sun Princess. It's been a really busy week. Margot from Alaska, Princess Margot, my darling. I got your email, by the way, so I owe you a response. I'm looking into it. But also, I'll be in Alaska next week. I leave Monday for the first voyage in Alaska of the Ruby Princess. So I'm super excited to be there. And it's on, right? So let's start always. I know your Q&A, so I always want to let you know we are recording it. You all know we're going to stick around. We're going to do the question and answer session at the end. And I really want you to know, this has been a really exciting week. I mean, last week, it's every week's exciting. Everybody asks me, when is it going to slow down? I'm like, I don't think it will. I think this is today's Princess, where every week there's something exciting and new coming out and that we're sharing. But if you were under a rock this week and you missed it, I'm going to play the video and then you'll know what's been going on.
Absolute great pleasure. This Sunray represents the 16th ship in the Princess Fleet. I named this ship Sun Princess. May God bless her and all who sail in her. Oh, wow. I kind of wish I had Marsha here. I'm getting all the teary-eyed and as emotional as I was on Tuesday when we named Sun Princess, folks. I don't think you realize what it takes to bring out a new class of ship. This is our 16th ship. You heard her. And if you don't know, the naming was in Barcelona on Tuesday. We did do a live stream, so if you weren't able to tune in, we wanted to show you that clip. I want to thank Joe Franco for getting it for us. That was a quick turnaround. If you do not know who our godmother of this gorgeous Sun Princess is, it's Hannah Waddingham. Does that ring a bell? Does she look familiar? You should know from Ted Lasso, right? The series of Ted Lasso. Oh my God, I love her in that show because she's so, and Ted Lasso as a whole is such a positive series. But I want you to know she was also in Game of Thrones, and I'll leave that out as a bit of trivia. But Tuesday was an exciting day for us. It really was for the brand. Naming a new class of ship. It is, let me be clear, naming ceremonies are really emotional. It's exciting, but more importantly, it really is a staple in maritime tradition to have a godmother and to make it different and exciting. And you saw John Paget there, and you also see Michael Carbonaro. So he served as our MC at the ceremonies for this event, and it was I mean, this was a star-studded event. Goosebumps is an understatement. Look, I'm all verklempt. Oh my God, I told Marsha I'd behave myself, but I can't because this is a big deal for our brand. And I have a lot of wonderful travel advisors that are on, about over 200 of them, that actually paid full fare to be there, by the way. Just want to let you know, because they wanted to see the ship and they happened to have been there during the naming. What I will tell you is this. It was exciting. It's a new class of ship. We had our chairman, Josh Weinstein, was there. Actually, Mickey Harrison was there. But TV personalities, I mean, this was like the rich and famous. We had Tyra Banks, Romero Brito, which we've talked about. So Brito, as you know, is a renowned artist, and he's creating Love, the restaurant on board, with all of his amazing masterpieces. So he's really whimsical. Of course, our favorite, Randy Finoli, Jeff Corwin, which you know, he is our ambassador and talk about an Alaska expert. Rob Floyd, how can we forget that incredible mixologist, right? I absolutely love everything Rob done. It really is magical. And then we had some of our new additions from the F&B part of it, right? So Mario Cecchini, you know, the butcher, let me talk about that. Makoto Okua. So we've got the wonderful new additions. And of course, dare I say, would it be a naming for Princess if we don't talk about our Love Boat cast members, our very favorite? Well, you know Jill Whelan, right? Vicky Stubing. So Jill is our celebrations ambassador. So they got to interview her and she was there. And then of course, Ted Lang, Isaac, and you tuned in a couple, what was it, a year ago? I think I had Ted on this webinar. And boy, is he a super cool guy. And he gave me his personal cell and I have not used it to stalk him, but you never know. It's an early year yet. And then of course, Doc on the series, Bernie Kopel. So I'm sure you all can appreciate how exciting this is for our company. Sun Princess, looking forward to when she's here in Fort Lauderdale. Some of us had to stay behind. Okay, by the way, Marsha's not there, so don't get too excited. I wish, I'm sure she wishes. Some of us had to stay behind. Somebody has to do the work. Somebody has to fill the ships. That would be us. So I hope you join us in really congratulating all of our team members on board and ashore. And John Padgett did an amazing job of really kind of getting on there and introducing everybody. You know, it's a momentous experience. So thank you all for your support. And we're just so thrilled that Sun is named officially in Barcelona. And then we have our eyes set on, guess what? Next up, Star, right? Star Princess next fall. So exciting on that. Okay, let's keep going and talking about what's up. So we're going for the gold, Travel Age West Awards. So I start with this and everybody says, Carmen, why do you keep talking? Well, QR code, vote. These are the categories that we are nominated in. You know, Best in Alaska is really critical to us because Princess is Alaska. We don't visit, we live there, we own Alaska. So it's really critical. I will be in LA at the Ritz, Marina Del Rey, I believe is where the awards are, on that Thursday evening. So these are third-party endorsements, folks. This isn't us, Princess, saying we're best in category. This is all of you. So the voting ends, I believe, next week. So I want to make sure. It says April 30th. Is that right? Yeah, it is. Next Tuesday. Okay. I'm ahead of myself. What can I tell you? And then, ta-da, as we connect and we talk about Sun Princess and taking it to a whole new level. Why am I dressed this way? Why am I dressed in an incredible princess bathrobe? What is this? What is this getup? You know me. I gotta have some fun, right? When you thought we had revealed everything as far as Sun Princess and amazing innovations and really exciting stuff, we have one more thing to show you. Play the video. I'm having a Zen moment. Yes, we announced that it's called the Sanctuary Collection. And guess where? On Sun and Star. So that was exciting news. That's why in my bathroom, because when I think of this Zen moment, the sanctuary, I think of peace. I think of us elevating your vacation, right? We're taking it to the next level, taking luxury to the next level with this incredible collection, Sanctuary Collection. So when you book, and we're going to talk about it because there's been a lot of buzz since we announced this. You know, it's interesting because you got to go big or you got to go home, right? So I always love that when you think about us, we think about, you know, do we have enough to announce when we talk about the naming? No, of course not. We got to give you something more to talk about. And so let's talk about Sanctuary Collection and what that means. How does that mean that your vacation is elevated? So just so that you know, a lot of folks have been working on this project, and I want you to know it's Sun and Star, okay? So we're not talking about the rest of the fleet, but this is long overdue. Why is it long overdue? From the moment I joined the brand 2 years ago and got to step aboard our beautiful ships and realize the collections that we have with our suites, sky suites, and just the incredible accommodations, we were missing this, what we call a ship within a ship concept. So guess what? It's here. So let's talk about why our product offering is a little different than others, right? Because even though it launches on Sun and Star, we're going to talk about when this ship within a ship concept is really allowing us to elevate the experience. These decisions aren't made in a vacuum. I want you to know that. It is based on research from the feedback we get, not just from our travel advisors that don't only sell Princess, I wish they did, but they sell a lot of other brands and they know what sells, but also our valued guests. What is it that our guests want? So we put a great deal of thought, research in creating this exclusive new stateroom category. And it appeals really to I call it the discerning traveler, but it's folks who really enjoy that luxury experience. And some of that subset want to have these private, you know, amenities, right? So it allows us really to compete in this premium cruise market with others that do. Even some in mass market have this kind of subset. So really, our guests get an exclusive access to the Sanctuary Club, a private reserved dining room, and it's with its own menu. Absolutely beautiful. Let's talk about these incredible benefits because it's a little different. And when this ship was, I want to say Imagineered, right? Richard Parker, we've had him on, did an incredible job. We knew we were going to have areas where we could have this kind of exclusive ship within a ship concept. So let me just give you a quick overview. And by the way, we incorporated your questions. So a lot of your questions, you had excellent questions. So I want to make sure I address them all because it's critical. And I know that I think the team sent out an email to some that aren't even impacted. So we got a lot of questions into our contact center. So hopefully that's why we do the webinars, so that we give you information. Knowledge is critical. So our best staterooms with these bespoke amenities and club experience. So anybody who's doing the Sanctuary Collection will also have access to the Sanctuary Club, right? So think about best staterooms, Sanctuary Club, exclusive restaurant. I don't want to say dining room. I want to say restaurant because it's, you know, a grade above. And then of course, everybody in the Sanctuary Collection will have Princess Premier. That's not new. Everybody knows what Princess Premier is included, but I'm going to remind you, I'm going to do a quick little update of what that entails, because we continue with Princess Plus and Princess Premier that our guests love. It's truly a differentiator and a real value proposition, by the way. So let's talk about each element. So let's talk about our best stateroom. So what does this mean? And this is what we're going to tell you why we're different. You know, this is what I love at Princess. We really follow the research and the data. Because most other brands only do it in a suite category, right? Why does our offering stand out? So our offering stands out because this collection is composed of our very best staterooms with premium locations throughout the ship. But if you think about it, we also, versus the competitive set, we offer buy-in to the premium concept also to mini suites and balconies. So it's not just in the suite category, but also you can enter a Sanctuary Collection experience through our mini suites and even through a balcony, a veranda stateroom, right? So there's 80 suites, 123 mini suites, okay? So they're called Sanctuary Suites, the 80, Sanctuary Mini Suites for the 123, and then we have 12 balconies that have been designated as Sanctuary balconies, okay? So this is very different because, again, when you look at the competitive set, it is all suites. You can't buy into it any other way. So we really wanted to expand the offering and really allow folks to experience this, whether you have a full suite or you have a balcony in this particular location, you will be able to enjoy all of these amenities. So let's talk about what's exclusive. What is exclusive access to the Sanctuary Club? So we're going to go each one by one, because as a matter of fact, I took notes, which normally, I'm not scripted by design. I'm not scripted by design because I want to read the information and I want to absorb it and understand it at the same time that you are, right? It's really critical for me to position it as such. So just imagine this really tranquil top deck space, right? Reserved exclusively for you as our guests or your clients if you're a travel partner. But it's adult 16 plus. I want to be critical in making sure I call that out because there's this tranquility in how we created the offerings, and therefore adult 16 plus was really, really critical based on the feedback we received, right? So just imagine spending a day in total bliss. This is why I'm in my Zen moment in this, which I call my spa attire. It's not a spa experience, but when I think sanctuary and peace, I think total bliss, relaxing poolside with a crafted cocktail, maybe ordering some bites, some beverages from a custom menu, even wellness classes. So just imagine this, right? It is Zen time taken to the whole new level. And especially when you reserve a private cabana. Remember, on this ship, when we have these cabana mini suites, they're pretty spectacular. I have one booked for my family vacation in December. So trust me, when we announced this, I was more than elated because it truly is going to bring our brand to a whole new level and allow us to be part of this segment of the market that there are guests that want this and we've got to produce. So let's talk about then the next exclusive access, which is the private restaurant, right? Reserved exclusively for Sanctuary Collection guests. So just these suite categories, mini suites, and the 12 balconies are allowed. No reservations needed, which is great. No waiting. Come as you want, when you want. And then we do have a custom chef's menu, okay, and dedicated wait staff, right? So think about this elevated dining is ready whenever you are. So again, an additional game changer and part of the setup with Sanctuary. And then the perks of Princess Premier. This is pretty cool because you all know Princess Premier, but I just want to talk about it. And it is included when you buy into the Sanctuary Collection. It's as simple as that. So you will get Princess Premier as part of the offering. That's critical to know because all of us have you're enjoying the highest level of this all-inclusive package that we offer. We have Plus, we're Premier, so it's multi-device, so up to 4 devices, whereas Plus is 1, but you can toggle, by the way. I always tell that to folks because I didn't think I could use 4 devices when I did Princess Premier on my vacation. Guess what? I came close. I did 3, so there you go. Crew appreciation, that's what we call it. That's gratuities. Think about the drinks, right? Including 75 plus top shelf liquors, which is great. White, you name it. The wine labels, dare I say, my favorite famous, and we have a partnership with them. Specialty dining, unlimited casual dining. The reserved theater seating is big for me. Believe it or not, in Princess prices, I don't want to overshadow that. But for me, the reserved seating in the production shows is pretty cool and amazing. Room service delivery, all of the other things. Your Ocean Now delivery. Premium desserts. I always laugh because I'm like, I definitely need those fitness classes after premium desserts. I will tell you, I never had a single premium dessert, but my kids did. Now, photo package. Everybody laughs at me. Why is photo package so important? I'll tell you why. Do you ever take pictures? Does anybody even have a camera? Everything's on your cell phone, dare I say. Actually, this is mine. Of course, it has the Princess logo on it, the medallion logo. But when I go on holiday, everybody's on their cell phone. There's nothing nicer than having a formal night or a dress up night and it's the only time I get my family together to dress up and I have a picture. And actually that picture that was at the beginning of the webinar sits in my living room. My daughter has a copy. My son has a copy in his home. It's really cool and unique. It's really, really different. So just imagine all of these perks included with Sanctuary Collection. So then let's talk about the exclusive lounge because this is really beautiful because it is elevated 2-story venue and it's at the aft of the ship. So, the beauty of Sun, and as I'm hearing everybody coming back, I'm not a hater, I'm a motivator. I'm happy they're there. I wish it was me sharing all of this, right? But it is the whole design of Sun. Why did we make it so great? The sun evolves around you. That's really what this is about, bringing in that beautiful, what you cruise for, right? The gorgeous views. So just imagine these ocean views in this 2-story venue that you have access to exclusively when you're Sanctuary Collection. I can imagine having my morning latte there, or an evening cocktail. I mean, I could just imagine this as a beautiful, dare I say, sanctuary, a place of peace. So it's about time. So if you're a Sanctuary Suite guest, you'll have exclusive access to the Suite Lounge. Really, again, the perfect place. And then let's talk about FAQ. So this was critical when we're putting this together. I had questions and I threw them in, and a lot of you had questions too. So I kind of want to get to, maybe this doesn't answer all of your questions. I wish I could say I had that crystal ball that has the answers to everything. But I really want to talk about the most important ones, because it's about timing, right? And it's about communication. Sometimes I tell the teams, I love that we're kind of evolving the brand. It's not a revolution, it's an evolution. But with it, we have folks that are used to, we're pretty standardized for a while, right? You didn't get a lot from us. And now it's just been a whirlwind, like put on your seatbelt. It's so exciting. Yet I want to make sure that we are communicating properly. So when does the Sanctuary Collection go on sale? So I think you all know. It started as of April 23rd. So this was announced on Tuesday during the naming. There's actually a press conference on board where John Paget, our president, had this incredible press conference, and he does a thing that's called What's New, What's Next. And so he talked about it, and this was a big deal for what's new. So here is what's important. This is taking effect starting October 24 with our Caribbean sailings, okay? So if you were sailing on the Sun from now, in Europe, you're doing the Med, nothing's impacted. We're not launching the actual collection features until October. So I want to make sure I was clear. Of course, October 2024 for Sun, and then Star will be fall of 2025. So some more FAQs that people want to know about. So hopefully I got through all of those. What if my client or I'm a guest is already booked in a suite, a mini suite, or one of the balconies that's designated now as a Sanctuary Collection stateroom, right? So think about this. It's really, really easy. So guests who, as of April 23rd, were already reserved in these staterooms, okay? We don't want to disrupt you if you're sailing October on, and you already booked. You will receive, whether it's Sun or Star, you will receive the additional benefits that we've outlined at no additional cost. There's only one exception, and that's the Princess Premier package. So you'll get all the other access, but you have to pay for Princess Premier, okay? You can add it on at any time or not add it on, but you gotta pay for it. It's not gonna be included in the package as we've set it up. So if your current booking does not include Premier, you can upgrade to Premier, okay? And receive the benefits that Premier brings with it and everything else. And then we're talking about age restrictions. So this was an interesting one because are there age restrictions? Yes. So to have access, it's 16 plus. It's as simple as that. I know it never makes everybody happy, but it's a Zen thing. And I don't know if you've been on other brands that have a ship within a ship, or if you've been, listen, you could be in, it doesn't mean because you're in the Sanctuary Collection that you cannot go to the main pool or other, you have access to the entire gorgeous vessel. It is yours for the having. But if you're going to be in these sanctuary areas, it's 16 plus. So I wanted to make sure. Okay, how to gain entry. Everybody wants to know, well, how are you going to decipher who goes where? Well, y'all know we have this wonderful, and by the way, I was going to wear my Brightline one because we announced, I think that was the last time you all saw me when I was on Brightline. That was pretty cool. Doing this webinar from Brightline on the train. Oh my God. I was like a little kid, right? You all saw it. If you didn't, go to One Source Cruises because you want to see how pristine that experience was. Okay, how do you gain entry? Really easy. The Sanctuary Club top deck area will be accessible for Sanctuary guests via their Princess Medallion. It's no different on how you get in. It's all programmable. So if you're part of those, suites of staterooms, right? These designated rooms, your medallion will be programmed accordingly and you will have access. Is Sanctuary only for suite guests? No, it is not. That's what sets us apart. I want to talk about this differentiator, and I know you're probably tired of me saying it, but it is really big. If you've ever been in either another premium brand that has it, there's a few mass market brands. contemporary brands that have these, ships within a ship that are exclusive, etc. The difference is that, it's just those suite categories. And we really expanded the offering to all suites, mini suites, as well as limited balcony staterooms, right? So I think that's really good. I want to just talk about it. So those are the FAQs that you all submitted. Normally we don't include them in the deck, just so you know. But I think Joe believed, and we believed, and I know I agree with him, was important enough to get those questions out there and really taking your vacation to this whole new level. There's the downloadable flyer. There are the FAQs. Okay. And of course, as always, you can go to onesourcecruises.com. And that's obviously for our travel partners, right? That really want to understand and want to get going on this offering. I am very excited because, again, I mentioned at the top of the webinar, when I joined, I'm like, why are we missing this element? There are clients that want this, and we've been missing this part of the market. Especially multi-gen groups, okay? We get a lot of multi-gen families on board, and maybe the grandparents or the parents really want to be in this sanctuary. And then, so we get a lot of these folks. And again, the whole ship is open to you folks. It's not like we're exclusively keeping them there and you can't go anywhere else. I want you to understand that. It is just a whole new level of evolving the brand. And I personally can't wait. I think it's an absolutely incredible experience. I can't wait to see the mini cabana suites. I've told everybody that's there, takes a lot of pictures for me because I really want to know. Okay, so don't forget, Sun Princess, I think we've given you time for the QR code. She's here. She's here October 15th. That'll be its first revenue cruise, and it's a shorter cruise, just so you know. So excited that we're going to welcome her in Fort Lauderdale in the Caribbean. By the way, if you didn't know, our home port strategy, and I know if you're a travel advisor, you've heard me say it when I go on the road and meet with you at conferences and conventions, we really have an amazing North America home port strategy. We're bringing the ships where our guests want to come. As you know, in the fall, starting November, we'll be in Port Canaveral. A couple of years ago, we started with Galveston. Obviously, we were born in California, LA, San Francisco. Don't forget Alaska. So we got Seattle, Vancouver. We've got Boston that we added, New York. I mean, we've got such a lineup, but half of our fleet, and of course, congratulations on Princess, number 16, Sweet 16, let's call it, in our fleet. She coming into Fort Lauderdale come October, super excited about the Caribbean voyages seasonally, and then she'll be back in the Med, as you all know. But please don't forget, because it's open for sale, and this is selling like hotcakes, which makes me really happy. So don't miss the quote unquote boat. Make sure that you're looking, if you want to look in the Caribbean, now is the time. Half of our fleet goes out of the state of Florida, and most people don't even know that. Most people didn't even know that we have Enchanted Princess year-round in the Caribbean. Yes, folks, year-round in the Caribbean. I want to mention this because I was at an event last week, and a travel partner, I'm sorry, Joe's probably like, there she goes, 20 minutes to a door, but I want to talk about this, especially to our loyalists and our travel advisors who sell not just us. You might not be just, I wish you were exclusively selling our brand, but you're not. And so I'm at this event last week at a trade show, and someone said, I didn't realize Princess was year-round in the Caribbean with Enchanted Princess. That is incredible. I did a price check. Other people are either sold out or the pricing is extreme. And you are still such an amazing value. So if you don't have plans this summer, we still have a year-round Caribbean ship that we can offer you. By the way, we have lots of ships that we're topping off, but I'm talking about Enchanted specifically because most people don't equate. We're a global brand, you know that. That continues, right? So we have a footprint, 330 destinations, but don't forget the Caribbean. We're there year-round, folks. It's like we're an afterthought. Okay, let's go to another big change that was announced. This was last week. Was it last week or the week before? It says revolution. It kind of, I never use the word revolution, but it kind of is for us because this came directly as we're shifting gears to dining. Again, every week there's something exciting and new. I can't wait to see what's there next week. This came exactly out of, and this we announced again last week or the week before. I was on a ship, so I can't remember. Guess what? This came directly from our experience on Sun Princess. Because the Sun Princess restaurant, the Horizon restaurant, is 3 stories, we were able to really take this and kind of, let's test it out. Let's see how it's going to work. And is it successful? Can we definitely support this? And the research, we have a lot of you loyalists that wanted the original. You wanted early late. We call it main and late, right? You want the 5 and you want the 7:30. You just want that. You want the same waiter. You want the same table. You want that, what I call that traditional, when I started 43 years ago, dining experience. There are still guests that want that. And you've been, raising your hands for quite some time. So we were able to experiment, so to speak, on Sun. And therefore, we have reimagined our main dining and it'll go fleet wide. So let's talk about dates, because this is also something you want to know. So the change starts with voyages departing September 14th. Okay. So you're not impacted, affected, kind of like Sanctuary Collection, unless you're sailing September 14th and beyond. Okay. It's available on all 3 ships. Let's talk about the 3 restaurant concept. Okay. Here it is. How are the 3 ways? Let's talk about traditional, because everybody loves traditional. I used to love traditional. I think I still do sometimes, because I'm one of those folks, especially when you go with a family reunion like I do. All of us want to sit together. We want to get to know our waiter. So this is really classic cruising. That's what I call it. Classic cruise experience, where you, guess what? You get to choose early. I call it main. It's not early, because early kind of makes you think you're going for brunch or lunch. It's just main. You're going 5 or you're doing the 7:30. It gives you truly, these 3 ways to dine are giving you the ultimate flexibility. By the way, that's another thing research shows. What clients want, what consumers want, is options. Options is key to today's consumer. So let's talk about traditional dining. Then let's talk about reservable dining times, which is the next opportunity. So when you talk about reservable dining times, that is what we call, just like a restaurant, open seating, right? You can come, you can reserve the time you want, the table size you want, at the time you want, what works for you in that restaurant, in that dining room. I think it's really important, because just like in a restaurant, you can reserve your table size, you can reserve the time that works for you, right? Those are folks who like that flexibility, but also want to know, I don't want to eat at 5 or 7:30. Or maybe today I want a table of 2, but tomorrow I want a table of 4. We met somebody on board. That kind of flexibility. And then there is the open seating complete concept, right? So open sitting is really to support what we call walk-ins anytime. And that by far is what we call the ultimate, right, in flexibility. Because again, those who just want to come in whenever they want, they don't want to be restricted to 5 or 7:30, main or late. They don't want to have to reserve a table every night, a table for 2, table for 4. They just want to come in when they want, how they want, as they want. This gives you that as well. So let me tell you, folks, I cannot imagine any other way that we could have created a better dining option. Where did we do it first? Sun Princess. What have we gotten from feedback? Oh, I can't even begin to tell you. No complaints. That's pretty remarkable, because let me tell you, 1 in 100, you're going to have at least one person complaining. Everybody's very happy, super thrilled. It works phenomenally, and we did it with the test. Now, how does this affect you if you're already booked, right? If you're a client that's already booked. We talked about when it launches, September 14th, right? So main dining reservations that have already been made for voyages the 14th of September and beyond, we've had to cancel everything except Sun Princess, by the way, right? Because we've operated on Sun this way. And we opened the dining about 2 months before, just so you know, so people have flexibility. So really important, main dining reservations for guests sailing through September 13 will not be affected. You're sailing through September 13th, don't have to worry about it. If your clients are sailing, you don't have to worry about it. You can manage your own dining plans using the Princess Cruises app, right? So it's really good. Now, why did we have to cancel everything? And by the way, if you're part of a group, and I know some folks have family reunion groups, have celebration groups, the teams, my team, right? The sales business development managers that work with our incredible valued travel partners that are true. I don't know how you keep everything together, but I know that we are doing specific trainings to help you get through this. But anybody booked in a group, we're very cognizant of the need for groups to stay together, and that might have already, done their dining. So the operations teams are working with us for the group. So again, really critical that you know, and then let's debut Star Princess. So hopefully that answered some of your questions, and if not, you can type them in there. Again, we had to shut down dining reservations, right, to get this all in order and to really make sure that when we open up again, I believe it's June 15th, all the ships are level set, and then you can go. And by the way, if you've paid in full, if you're an elite client, you can go ahead and book it. book your dining once we level set to make sure everything is set up. We want to set ourselves up for success. One of the things you always hear me say is it's always technical. I am like a magnet for Murphy's Law. So if there's any way that I can remove any service failure, any angst or frustration from any of our processes, I highly recommend it. So the teams met for weeks and weeks. First, we waited to see how it evolved on Sun, and then went ahead and say, this is the way to go. We've got happy campers on board and they want this kind of, guess what? Flexibility. So you asked for it, you got it. I like to say it's one size fits one, not one size fits all in our approach. Let's talk Star Princess, more information. Okay. You know, on the heels of this exciting week, not only this exciting year where we took delivery of Sun, where we've launched this incredible Sphere class ship, LNG ship. You know, it's the first Fincantieri has built. It's the biggest ship that we have in our fleet. Then we have her sister ship, right? So Star Princess next year, debut set for October 4th, 2025. So yes, this was actually announced last Friday. So it's kind of still hot off the press. I want to say it's not even a weekend. And so here's how we're scheduling the new launch. And why did we do this? A lot of folks, we did have, as a result of the new inaugural voyage, October 4th, we did have to cancel some voyages, and we did communicate with those of you who were impacted. And obviously, travel advisors, you always get notification first, and we show you what we're sending to our valued guests so that you know what it is that we're communicating. And really, this was interesting. So October 4th is the first one. It's an 11-day inaugural. Italy and France, and it's round trip Barcelona, which I absolutely love from an airlift perspective. Then you're followed by October 15th, and that's a 7-day med sailing with Spain, France, and again, round trip Barcelona. Keep it simple, please. I love that. Keep it simple, salesperson. Keep it simple, Sun and Star, so that we all follow it, right? And then October 22nd, there's a 14-day Iberian passage from Barcelona to Fort Lauderdale because we're going to reposition her, and she'll begin her maiden Caribbean season out of Fort Lauderdale. So, you know, we don't take these decisions lightly, okay? Because a lot of folks said, oh my goodness, but we took it far out enough. So as you know, Sun, we had to cancel some of those voyages, and, you know, we heard your feedback, and a lot of you were upset because it was very close in. So it just made for a lot of angst. Again, we're not perfect. I don't think I know anybody who is perfect, but don't tell George Roig, my husband, he thinks he is. What we want to do is make sure that we're learning and that we're evolving as a brand, and we're committed to that. We're committed to complete transparent communication with you, ensuring that we can manage. We value your business and we know you have choices. So my goal since I got here was to be a pleasure to do business with. And so that is the aim. And this was just the perfect example of, let's not wait. If we know, and the shipyard's telling us, right? Because like everything, you have a brand new class like Sun, and Sphere class, actually Sun. We have learnings from Sun that we will make sure kind of like translate into Stars. So those learnings will only really elevate the experience. So very excited. Always unfortunate when you have to cancel stuff. But this is it, October 4th. We didn't want to wait till next year. If we're aware that there might be delays, let's just get it done now. That way everybody can set up their vacation, and we're managing your expectations, okay? So again, if you have any questions, we communicated this last week, but I believe that, you know, you always have to, don't poke the bear, but it's the 800-pound gorilla in the room, and I just wanted to get it off and make sure that if you do have any additional questions, remember, I have a team of incredible, I call them CEOs of their respective territories, which are business development managers. I have an amazing sales leadership team, and we are all here and at your service to help you really guide you through the journey that is not only our changes for our brand as we continue to evolve and really just elevate the Princess brand. I'm so excited. Okay, news, notes, and reminders, because we're going to wrap it up with this. And if there are Q&As, I'm happy to take it. So I'm not wearing my Brightline medallion, which was so cute. So if you weren't, and I know our guests, our consumers that are on today, weren't part of the last webinar we had, because that was a travel advisor only, right? But we announced, and myself, Carmen Roig, was in Orlando to do this exclusive partnership announcement. It was phenomenal. They wrapped a Brightline. If you don't know what Brightline is not your typical train experience. So I told the story when my son was 2 years old. He was into Thomas the Train. I know I digress, but you got to understand why. And we decided we were going to take the Amtrak train from Miami up to Orlando. And we were going to have a Disney vacation with him. And he was going to do Thomas the Train coloring books. I brought it all. You could just imagine the back. By the way, my son is 27 years old. So this was 25 years ago. Guess what? We hadn't even left the station. And my husband's like, are we there yet? I mean, it's worse than a car drive, right? It was like we just kept stopping and stopping. And it was just really not the best service standard, right? I mean, it was just tough. No offense to Amtrak, because they're still out there. We didn't even make it to Orlando. Like 3 stops short of it, we just got off and we rented a car. Well, my husband rented a car. While my son was crying, well, there goes the choo-choo train, Mom. That's right. This is not that experience, folks. This is ultimate. And by the way, it's an exclusive partnership. What a way to rail and sail. How does this, it is hassle-free. By the way, I was lucky enough to be in the premium coach, which was great. And I even had my own James. He was so cool. He was like the little conductor serving snacks, drinks, little appetizers. I mean, hummus. So if you'd seen my webinar, I did the entire webinar live from my seat on the train. You got to hear all of the announcements. And I wanted you to hear the announcements because they stop. So the rail starts in Orlando. It does obviously West Palm, Boca. It does Fort Lauderdale, which is where our program is. And we take our guests from the Fort Lauderdale Brightline station to our ships in Fort Lauderdale. So it's very seamless. What a way to travel. If you've ever traveled I-95 or the Turnpike in Florida, folks, it's not for the faint of heart. First of all, gas prices. I could go on, but I'm not trying to sell it. I'm just trying to tell you that I was blown away. And I'm pretty jaded and cynical after 43 years of doing this. Very few things will impress me, but this did, because I think it was not just ideal for Florida, but if you're in a drive market and you're flying now into Miami or Fort Lauderdale, just think about what it takes to get to the airport, to go through TSA. This was just, if you're going to drive in to Orlando, take the Brightline. It's right there where the airport is, in Orlando Airport. It was seamless. It was clean. It was comfortable. It was quick. It was amazing. Okay. So hassle-free. And then we even offered, by the way, the baggage start part of it was really cool. So we're going to talk about, I don't even know what's on here, Joe, but I got to talk about that because the idea of, just imagine yourself, we're going to talk about the offer now because we have until May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, which, by the way, I'll be flying from Ketchikan to LA on that day to join Sapphire Princess for my next sales meeting. So on this Brightline offer, and here's what's exclusive, it's up to $300 credit that you'll get, onboard credit, per stateroom for Brightline. So just imagine, for your rail ticket, right? And this is exclusive if you book your cruise by May 5th. Okay, there's your promo code, FAF. Then there's up to 15% off when booking Smart and Premium. I was in the Premium Rail and Sail, which is well worth the elevated cost, very little. And again, all these packages are available through the Brightline website, which is really, really good. And if you think about what the onboard credit means, so if you're in an interior ocean view stateroom on our ship, it's $50 per person of the Brightline credit. If you are in a balcony or deluxe stateroom, it's $100 per person in that Brightline credit. And if you're in a mini suite or a suite, it's $150 per person Brightline credit. So I thought it was exciting. And then the best part, really, which I'm just going to stop and talk about because it's not on the slide, is the $35 per bag fee. So let's say that you are boarding in Orlando and you're going to end up on, let's just say, the Caribbean Princess out of Fort Lauderdale or the Sun Princess out of Fort Lauderdale, right? How exciting is that? So you can actually do, for $35 a bag, you can check in to the rail and see your luggage. You don't have to worry about it. Seamless, easy peasy, I want to say, right? This rail and sail, how they have thought of everything. Guess what? You'll see your luggage in your stateroom. If you're traveling with kids, I don't know about you, but I end up dragging, when my kids were young, but even now, I drag their luggage with me. This to me is a no-brainer for $35 a bag. Check it in, we're gone. I'm enjoying my premium ride on Brightline, having a drink in complete air-conditioned comfort, super cool seats. And by the way, whether you're not in the premium coach or not in that segment, and they sell it out. So our travel partners, they actually will sell out different service areas if it's already there. So more to come. As a matter of fact, I'll let you know because many of you had asked this because this Brightline announcement, of all the announcements we've made, I think it got the most press and the most excitement, right? Which is wonderful. So I've asked the VP of Sales, my counterpart, so to speak, for Brightline, to come and join us at one of these Connect with Princess webinars. So fingers crossed, toes and eyeballs, that May 16th, which is our next webinar date, by the way, that will be the travel partner only webinar, May 16th. It's a Thursday. Or then the next one would be May 30th. So she's going to come and hopefully she'll take that date. More to come on that. And she'll talk about how you book groups with Brightline. Because I will tell you, I was there in Orlando and we had one specific travel partner that does a lot of groups with us, snowbird groups in January. And she was there and she was talking to the Brightline people. So she doesn't have to do those coaches when you reserve them and you have to drive down. Okay. Anyway, let's roll. Let's do it. Rail and Sail. I'm so excited. It was beyond gorgeous. So go ahead, download. You can do a customizable, very important, customizable flyer so that you're out there getting the word out. And then May 16th, we hopefully will have her with us. Okay, moving right along. What have we got? What have we got? Because I think it's important to talk about World Cruise. So this is on sale today for our wonderful loyalist, our past guest, right? The World Cruise 2026 on Coral Princess. Think about that, 114 days, 28 countries, 52 days. This is my dream come true, to be able to be on a World Cruise sometime. Like, I don't even want to retire. I want to work from there with medallion class and Wi-Fi. Hello, I think I can do it. So let's talk about some of the early booking benefits for the World Cruise that I want you all to be aware of, okay? Which is really important. So guest booking by October 31st will receive a great many array of perks. I like to say a great array of perks, really important. World Cruise, 98 to 114 days. So just think about that. And this is, I always say, if you look at the pricing per diem, like take the price divided by 98 days. By the way, I'd do that with any cruise, whether you're going on a World Cruise or not. The value of cruising now more than ever is exponentially greater than ever before. If you've stayed in a hotel or a land-based, one of those all-inclusive, that's what they call it, land-based experiences lately, we'll talk about it in a second, you'll know what I'm talking about. So for full World Cruise is designated as 98 days or 114 days. There's a $500 onboard spending credit. Round trip air, which is great. And by the way, it includes transfer. So it's first class round trip airfare for suites. If you book a mini suite or suite and fly first class from LAX or Fort Lauderdale. So that's on us. That's pretty cool. Good for the first two guests in a stateroom. Why is that good? So I'm going on a Diamond Princess in July and I just booked my air. And this is from LA to Tokyo. Do you know how much that cost? Close to $6,500. It was ridiculous. That's all I'm going to say. Or economy class round trip airfare for balconies. Okay, so we've got that as well. So if you're booking a veranda and you're going to take care of your airfare, again, LAX or Fort Lauderdale, and then the onboard spending money. So this is when you do segments, if you're not doing the full thing, we call them liners. And I keep saying, what is a liner? Like, I think a liner is something when my kids were in, their crib. That's all I'm going to say. But we do have those onboard spending money for those who are doing segments. Okay, so if you're doing those segments, just so you know, and then of course, Captain Circle members, you save up to $1,000 per person. So that's World Cruise 2026. But I want to talk about 2025 because the offer, we took this to a whole new level. I thank Daniel because he's our commercial guru here for World Cruise. And we decided if you book a full World Cruise, you get Princess Premier with your cruise fare. But it's a full World Cruise, right? So 101 nights or longer, 2 round trip options, same thing, LAX or Fort Lauderdale, which is great. And again, this offer ends April 30th. So that's next Tuesday. By the way, the savings, if you think of what Princess Premier is valued at for a World Cruise, 65%. That is huge if you were going to buy these items separately. So that offer, when we brought this offer to market, it was like, I want to say 8 weeks ago, it started selling because everybody understands the value of this. And so again, April 30th, boom, So 2025, let's talk about air credit. So you asked for it because everybody's like, well, what if I'm not going on the full world cruise? Again, keeping with a pleasure to do business with, right? One size fits one, not one size fits all. So guess what? When they're booking a segment, we needed you to get something too. So we did an up to $500 air credit. Okay, so that's $250 one way or $500 round trip on the different segments. So they're all there. I want you to see them because there's different durations. So there's as little as 15 days or as many as 66 if you want to go. And then this is just our way to say thank you. We totally understand. Maybe you can go on a full world cruise, but you might have a family wedding and you have to get off in a segment, but you want to have, there's something in it for you. So we brought this up. And again, to any segments, whether it's 15 or 66 days. Then let's go to our offer, right? Really cool. This is happening now. It starts tomorrow. So this is our up to 35% off. Third and fourth are free, but what we're doing for 72 hours only. So this is like a flash sale. I don't even know how to call it, right? Because this is our current sale. If you didn't know that, that current sale offer, the 35% and third and fourth freeze, runs through May 31st, okay? But here's the insider. I always like an inside scoop. Joe knows that. Get me something nobody else knows. And this starts tomorrow, but you're hearing it here today. It's that free room upgrade. So think about this. Pretty cool. Through April 28th and $99 deposit. So really fun. It says start tomorrow, but I think today's April 25th because I know my executive assistant's out today. And yesterday was National Professional Administrative Day, I think. And so he's got Thursday, Friday off and the whole weekend. God bless you. Okay, another insider scoop. Let's go. So, this is pretty cool. Starting today through Sunday, the $200 onboard spending money per stateroom and $99 deposits as well. And that's on select Panama Canal cruises, right? So that's in addition to the 35% off, the third and fourth guest sale free offer. So this one is on select Panama Canal sailings, but that's May 6th to May 31st. Inside scoop. It's coming, it's coming, it's coming. Want you to know. And it's on your radar. And then as I shift gears to our travel partners, because last year, we had Love Fest, we had Seminar at Seas, and last year we had 25 dates. If you can imagine, we had over 3,000 travel advisors join us on these educational seminars at sea. And we have a lot of new to industry. We have a lot of new travel consultants that came from other industries. They're joining the happiness business. That's what I call cruising, by the way, the happiness business. And so we developed these seminar at season last year. I mean, over 3,000 folks joined us, but we had 25 of them. This year, we only have 8. I believe there's only 8. And anywhere from 4 to 7 day sailings. We keep them short because we know you're busy working. So we want to tell you what the dates are. And we do have limited availability. I got to be honest with you, totally. And this first come, first serve. Really, really critical that you know. So you'll see some of the 4-day Pacific Coastal. I love that on Sapphire, September 24th, Vancouver to San Francisco. So there they are. And of course, they are always escorted by a business development manager, sometimes 2, depending on the numbers that we get. And it's really critical because you're really going to do an in-depth, a behind the scenes. You're going to get to see stuff that you normally wouldn't. And we really do a lot on demographics on the brand and really, really get you into what I call the weeds, right? But there's always time for fun. And then Love Fest. I get everybody asking, what's the Love Fest? So what's the Love Fest? Register today. We launched these last year. By the way, this was my brainchild because we own love. That's it. We are the love boat. Don't tell me it's a ship and not a boat. We're calling them boat. We're selling boat rides. One of my favorite things in the happiness business. And Love Fest was our way to lead into our brand, our love brand, the brand that started with the Love Boat and put cruising on the map how many years ago, right? And it still resonates with guests today and clients. So Love Fest is just our way to really bring it, whether it's on the ship, and there's still space available, by the way, which is really great. I think May 18th still has space available, which is the closest in we've got. Go ahead, bring it, register, and join us because, again, if you can't get to a ship, most of them we've done on the ship, just so you know, but if you can't get to the ship, we're doing some on land. Those are limited. Last year we had a lot more land, but we do, by the way, we do surveys. We listen to your feedback. And many of you said, listen, I like that it's on land. I prefer you do this on a ship. And so we upped our game with more ship Love Fest experiences. By the way, the agenda's the same, the educational format's the same, and you get to hear from our amazing onboard families. You get officers coming in. It's just a very cool way to really get you in the embrace of this princess brand, right? So Love Fest 2024, well on its way. Okay. And do we have any Q&As? I did this solo. I know we have the scanning for information. So we are going to do that because we get this from you all the time. Rail and Sail flyer, there it is. Love Fest, Seminar Seas, anything you want on the Sanctuary Collection, which is really the biggest kind of announcement. That and Dining and Star. I mean, we have big announcements all the time, right? Totally nuts. But I wanted to make sure that we put these up. And do we have any questions, Joe? I know you always pop them up and hopefully I have answers. If not, we'll get back to you with answers. Constance, did this include the cove balconies that were reserved? That's a great question. And I don't believe, I haven't seen what those 12 balcony staterooms are. Okay, so I'm sorry that I haven't, actually, this is brand new, right? We just announced it Tuesday. And I haven't seen the designated staterooms. But happy, if you go ahead and email us, I'll make sure that we get it to you because they are available, obviously. By the way, we're finalizing our brochure. Thank you, Joe, for all your hard work. Next question or comments. Are there more? Are there no more reserve? Right, so it's all Sanctuary Collection, Diana. So everybody in a mini suite is Sanctuary Collections. Consider it a renaming, right? So you have your full suites, mini suites, Sanctuary Collection, mini suite. So you have X amount in each of those categories. So I want to make sure I'm very careful how I position it because not all of them, not all Cabana mini suites are part of, just so you know, Sanctuary Collection. Critical. Again, it's only 2 ships, Sun and Star. That's all it is right now. So what are families to do if they want Sanctuary but have teenagers under 16? They're not allowed in Sanctuary. I know that's a tough one. Tough, but you had to draw the line. At some point, we were going to say 18 and up. But then we did, again, research, get feedback, and 16 is where we landed. So you're not going to leave the kids alone, right? If you got a 13-year-old, but you're also able to do Sanctuary as parents if you have a suite or one of those, veranda balcony staterooms in Sanctuary and your kids are younger, you have options, but we're not changing that standard. It is 16 and above. That was critical, and we held the line. Operations held the line very firm on that.
Carmen?
Not always. Yes. That you,
Just to
Joe?
clarify, yes, it is. Just
Tell
to
me, Joe.
just to clarify,
Go on camera. Let
the
them see
16
you.
plus, I don't think I'm really
I'm just
dressed for it.
joking. Go.
Um,
You got the
no, the Sanctuary, all kids or families with kids of all ages can book into the Sanctuary,
but they
correct?
can't go to the private areas.
To the club.
for the
Yeah, the
club.
club is 16.
Plus, correct. But that's
Okay.
critical because that deck is what people go. Like when you do Sanctuary now, folks, on our ships, let's talk about the other 15, right? There are limits on age there as well, right? You cannot take it out for a day and bring a teenager up there, just so you know. That doesn't change. So that shouldn't be new. But yes, you could book a Sanctuary suite, but they cannot go into the
club.
Sanctuary Club. Thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions we've got? Because I know we had lots.
there-
I thought we got to them at the FAQ, but just in case.
Oh, absolutely. There were so many about the age group thing. That's why I wanted to make sure that it was clear.
Thank you. Thank you for chiming in. And by the way, if you don't know Joe Franco, he's our trade marketing manager extraordinaire. And by the way, he is in on all of these calls because I can't be in. I know it's death by conference call, right? I mean, are you like just done with Teams? It's crazy. He must have like 10 calls a day. And Sanctuary, this collection initiative was months in the making. I think we've been talking about it since last July before the ship was even here. So it was very carefully thought out. And more to come, by the way. If you need more information, we can definitely get it to you. Make sure, reach out. You saw the flyer. It's there. And we want to make sure we give you as much information as we can. Any other questions?
There were a couple more. There's 2 more that we should probably tackle.
Okay.
This one I think you mentioned, but it would be worth mentioning again.
So right now it's only on Sun and Star. I never say never, right? So right now there are no changes to the other sanctuaries on the ships. You still go through the same thing, right? It's the same thing. You can reserve it 1 day, 2 days. You know how that goes. But really, this new Sanctuary Collection approach is for Sun and Star, ship within a ship. Hopefully that
Okay,
answered that.
Yep, here's
Everybody
the
else
last
is
one,
fine.
and I don't know if you got my message on this.
I have no messages.
Oh.
Oh, were you multitasking and sending it to me by like cell phone, Joe? I love when we do live because we're right at the top of the hour. So let me see what your answer was.
No, I might have forgotten to mention it during the prep. That's what I meant.
Okay. No, you probably didn't. Are there solo travel? I think we do have solo staterooms because I did this recently. Hello. Yes, you can tell. And we had it. And I want to say I have 1,000 of these, but I want to say it's a small number. It's not like you have hundreds of them, right? It's like, I want to say 5 solo
4.
staterooms. Is it 4? Okay. I wanted to say 5 because I
You're on
wondered
deck
why.
10.
Yeah, like 4. Why didn't they make it 5? Sorry. Seriously? But it's okay. I'm not going to go with my hammer and nails and create another. But there are 4 solo staterooms. By the way, any double occupancy stateroom can become solo if we're doing solo fares, right? And anywhere from 110 to 200%, depending on the voyage and obviously how is there a lot of demand for it, right? Seasonal, all of those things come into play. Joe, thank you. You see, I love that you joined us because looking at my ugly mug is not enough. Marsha lovers, do not fear. She will be back with us. Marsha will be back May 16th. Looking forward to our next webinar. Thank you all for joining. As always, we value your time. We value your loyalty, your support. I know you have choices, and thank you for spending this time with me on Connect with Princess. Thanks, Joe and Brandon and Steph.